Greetings fellow traders, this is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis, where I'm going to analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the upcoming week. And for this week I have 5 pairs selected with really interesting setups, and I'm really excited to share those setups with you. Later on in the video we will have a look at some pairs from last week which are not featured in this week's list and see how those pairs have performed, so stay tuned until the end of the video for that. Now a couple more things before we start. Christmas is right around the corner, so since it's the middle of December right now, the markets are probably going to move really slowly around the Christmas time. So it's still roughly 1.5 weeks. So this week, the coming week, will be really significant. This will probably be the only week where I will open a position, and the week after I will not. And the reason is just the holiday season. The markets will probably not move as quickly and as much as we are used to throughout the year, but that's absolutely fine. I believe this week should be more focused on just enjoying the holidays. Whether or not you are celebrating Christmas, it's going to be a probably rather slow week in the market, which is why I think I will do a new Sunday market analysis in the next week or next Sunday, but I will probably not take any trades. So unless I find a suitable entry in this coming week, I will not trade in the coming days. But as I said, this week is still a week to look for potential entries, and I would like to share with you those potential entries and trades that I found in this video. So let's start here with the pair CADCHF. And on CADCHF, I'm looking for a long position. So we can see here this area of interest, a round psychological level, the 0.575 round psychological level, and it has been resistant several times, and you can see that we recently broke out of this area, and now the price seems to be coming back down into it and offering me or giving me a potential chance to enter a long position here. Even on the weekly chart we can see it's a rather kind of neutral week almost that closed recently, and we have this significant zone here where it broke through, has been resistance. Hopefully it will turn into support now, but before I open a long position I want to see a small liquidity sweep here and just a clean shifter structure that bullish momentum and buying power is entering the market, and that CADCHF will continue to the upside, which will probably take a couple more days, but maybe then there will be the entry that I am looking for. So patience is key. I have set an alarm here, so whenever the price is coming back into the zone, I will have a closer look and look for a potential entry. If it's even rejecting the 50 EMA here, that would be double confluence and confirmation, and that would be absolutely great to see. So the next pair on my list is EURCAD. And on EURCAD, I'm still looking for a potential short position. So there's still been the, from last week, there's been the arrow here, and I just left it there because we have broken below the round psychological level and this area of interest here. We have the 1.62 round psychological level, and price has broken below it. It looks like a really big head and shoulders pattern, with this being the left shoulder, the head and the right shoulder, and we've broken the neckline, and now I'm waiting for a retest of this neckline. Small liquidity sweep around the round psychological level, possibly rejecting the 50 EMA here, and then a continuation to the downside, with the first profit target probably being the 1.59 round psychological level, or maybe 1.595, depending on how the price is reacting to each individual level. But this might still take a couple days more, and it's again important to be patient here. I will have a look at the pair. I will even set an alarm and see what the price is going to do. If it's going to reject the area the way I want to see it being rejected, or if it's just going to continue to upside or maybe range. So this is my short plan for EURCAD. Now let's go to the next pair, which is EURGBP. And on EURGBP, I am actually looking for a long position now. So you can see again a round psychological level, 0.875 round psychological level, with an area of interest that has been resistance and now seems to be turning into support, and now I hope it will turn into support again after the price broke through this level here. And now I am waiting for a retracement back into the zone, hopefully a small liquidity sweep, rejecting the 50 EMA as additional confirmation and an additional confluence. On a lower time frame, you can see that this almost looks like a potential cup and handle pattern that's forming here, with this being the cup below the round psychological level, and now it's forming the handle, which will then be the potential retest of this area. So it's important to again be patient here. I set an alarm. I believe this trade is looking really good and really interesting. We see on the weekly chart we are still in an uptrend. We are creating new highs. We have had an engulfing green weekly candlestick. Now I just want to wait for the wick down of the newly forming weekly candlestick, with that being awaiting the retest of the area of interest and around psychological level, and then I will open a long position if I get my entry signal. So that's the plan for EURGBP. Now let's go to the next pair, which is EURUSD. Now EURUSD, I'm also looking for a long position. You can see here a round psychological level, the 1.17 round psychological level with an area of interest, an area that has been resistance, then turned into support, then has been, sometimes not really the cleanest support, but here it has turned into resistance again. And now I just hope the same will happen again. I want to see, might take a couple days, maybe just as it did here, to come back into the area, sweep some of the liquidity around this level, and then give me a really clear long signal, a shift of structure, so that I can then open a long position similar to what has happened down here. You can pretty much see a bullish flag pattern, and this pattern has been broken to the upside, and then it just continued higher. And maybe we will see the same here, maybe not, but I'm waiting for the price to come back into the area and give me my shift of structure, my signal to open a long position, and then hopefully I can profit off of a continuation to the upside here on EURUSD with the first profit target, maybe being the 1.19 round psychological level. Why not? Price has reacted to that zone, or maybe even a little lower, maybe the 1.18 round psychological level, depending on the risk reward ratio. So also fairly simple break and retest trade here on EURUSD. Let's go to already the last pair on my main list, which is GBPCHF. And on GBPCHF, I'm also looking for a long position. And if you remember, I have been looking at those CHF pairs for quite some time now. I do believe they are about to have kind of a reversal to the upside, a bigger correction as we have on CADCHF. If I go back to CADCHF on the monthly chart, you can see here we have a double rejection of this lower zone, and this monthly candlestick seems to be forming really bullish, and maybe it will close really green and bullish and I can profit off of that. But let's go back to GBPCHF, and GBPCHF, we have a round psychological level here, the 1.065 round psychological level. And this level, it has respected it several times. It has been support, then resistance, and now it looks like it might be turning into support again, rejecting the 50 EMA here. So the entry is really close. I remember the swap fees being quite high on GBPCHF, depending if you go long or short. Since this is going to be a long entry and a long trade, I really hope those swap fees are not really high, so that I can hold it for a little longer and profit off of a continuation to the upside. But on a lower time frame, it looks a little more complicated or a little mixed. Price has been ranging quite a lot. What I would like to see is a push through this level again, maybe a small retest, and then additional confirmation that there will be a continuation to the upside and bullish momentum. It's really important not to rush this trade. We have a neutral daily candle, so that is really good. I might want to check it on a different price provider, and this is more like this is a hammer candlestick here. So I'd say rather a mixed potential, whether it will continue higher. It could also form a right shoulder here and then continue lower. That's absolutely possible to happen. But unless I get a clean entry signal here, I will not take this trade immediately, and I will wait for the London session to start on Monday. So even on the weekly chart, it has been a red close as a weekly candlestick, even below this area. So that's not looking ideal, but I will just see how the price is moving. Maybe there will be no entry in the coming week, but I will have to look at the price and make my decision based off of that. And that's already it with the main pairs for the upcoming week. Now let's have a look at some pairs from last week and see how they have performed. And the first pair here is AUD/USD. So on AUD/USD, I was waiting for a deeper retest of the zone and the 0.66 round psychological level to open a long position here and profit off of a continuation to the upside. Unfortunately, the price never really came down back into the area to retest it and give me my entry signal. It just continued to the upside. Right now, it's also in an interesting zone, but it's also a really big resistance zone, which is why I'm currently not really interested in this trade. The daily candles look like there could be a price continuation to the upside, but still, since this is not really the cleanest setup for me, I'd rather skip this potential long trade now, wait for it to maybe come down into this area here again, or just see what the price is doing in the coming weeks and just skip it for now. So then the next pair is Euro AUD. And on Euro AUD, I was looking for a potential short position. Since we have broken the what looks like a big head and shoulders pattern with a left shoulder, a head and a right shoulder, and then has broken the neckline of it. And I was waiting for the retest of this neckline, then a shifter structure with an indicator that's indicating a falling price so that I can then open a short position. As you can see, it never really gave me my clean entry signal to the downside. This already looked like this was an entry signal. However, I would rather wait for a retest of this lower head and shoulders pattern. So of this left shoulder, head and right shoulder, it broke the neckline, but then on a lower time frame, you can see there's never been a really clean retest. It just exploded to the upside here, the price, and now might continue higher, or maybe it will have the turnaround now. But right now, I'm not interested in taking this short trade anymore, and I'll just see what the price is going to do in the future now. And the final pair already is USD JPY, and on USD JPY I was looking for a kind of higher low to open a long position here when those candlesticks were forming. And what you can see, it continued to the upside a little bit, but still came down into the area and tested it again. However, this was not really a time. It was 7 p.m. I did not want to open a long position at 7 p.m. in the zone, and it looks like the price is creating this kind of flag or triangle pattern here, and it looks like it might just be ranging for the next few days. But if it comes down back into the area here and just tests it again, sweep some liquidity and reject the 50 EMA, then this might be another good long position for me. But right now, it does not look like it will give me a proper entry in the coming week. Even the weekly chart is looking quite okay. We have this kind of rather weak evening star, as I'd like to call it here, and then a weekly candlestick leaving a wick to the upside, which might get filled in the coming week. But as I said, that's just so much ranging for me now. I will just have a look at USD JPY every now and then and see what it's doing. If it's coming back into the zone, then rejecting it violently, then maybe in 1 or 2 weeks there could be a new long position for me. Or maybe we have a bigger correction. We don't know. And that's already it for this week's Sunday market analysis. Of course, I've analyzed the other pairs too, but I did not find any great trades for the coming week. I've set price alarms, and if any of those alarms getting triggered, I will have a look at the respective pair again and then see if I can find a new trading opportunity for the week. If you want to get notified whenever that happens, and if you want to receive regular trade updates on my running trades and get notified whenever I open or close a position, then you can just join my free Telegram channel. I will put the link to it into the video description. You will also find a link to my other socials there. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer your questions. Thank you for watching. I wish you a successful trading week. Remember to manage your risk properly, and see you next Sunday.